The 2019 Subaru Forester offers 5-person seating capability, as well as nice interior features, great cargo area, and a dependable, practical vehicle. So under the hood of the Subaru Forester, we have a 2.5-liter boxer 4-cylinder, which is where the pistons hit each other like this, instead of traversing straight up and down like a traditional inline or V configuration. This engine produces 182 horsepower and 176 pound-feet of torque, made it to a CVT automatic transmission. As we come around to the back, it is one-touch open for the trunk. As you can see, pretty decent size trunk area. It does have this cover here that slides up and over these. Then you have a nice cover for your cargo area. When you don't want to use it, just pick it up, slide it back in place, it flips over, and it's completely out of the way. As you come around to the back area, pull these knobs. So both sides do come down. You pull this little knob. I have to say it's not really that easy. It took me a while because the seatbelt kept getting stuck. But once it is down, you have an entire load floor. You can also take this out. You have to remove the screws there and there. When you're done, you can either hit this button and it will lock the car and close the trunk, or you can hit this button and it will just close the trunk. So we're going to do that. And the trunk closes right up. And as we climb into the front area, notice we have a power adjustable driver's seat. All automatic windows, 2 of them, driver and passenger, are one touch up and down. Same thing for the passenger. The passenger seat has a manual bar that you have to pull to adjust it. It is not power. It has a great infotainment system. You can go into media here. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Audio, as well as regular Bluetooth audio and USB port capability to play off that. All you have to do is go to apps, and then you have Pandora connected straight to your phone, and then you also have your Android Auto and your Apple CarPlay. They're not highlighted at the moment because there's no phone hooked up, but it does have that capability. Down here, we have automatic air conditioning controls, as well as dual climate zones. Down here, you have your gear lever that's connected to your CVT, which is why there's no gears going, 3, 2, 1 or whatever on the side. You just put it into low. It helps you down mountains. And it also has a backup camera, a pretty nice resolution one, I have to say. You can see my tripod back there. It has driver and passenger heated seats. This button activates the auto hold feature, which is where you come to a stop at a stoplight and it automatically holds the brake until you hit the gas to go. And then you have your automatic parking brake, so no more yanking the lever. Push button engine start stop. You have a Rockford Fosgate premium audio system, and then up here, which is right above the center screen there, has some more information such as fuel economy and distance to empty, stuff like that. And down here you have your instrument cluster. Nothing particularly interesting. This does have an amazing adaptive cruise control feature with full self-driving capability. It steers for you and speeds up, slows down depending on the car in front of you and the speed that you set it at, which is really great to see it here. And you have some radio controls on the steering wheel, which is always nice to see. As we go into the back area here, you'll notice we have a couple climate vents with the ability to open them and close them. And you have 2 USB-A ports down here. This was kind of before the days of USB-Cs, even though it was only 5 years ago from the time of airing. You have dual seat back pockets. So you have a little bit of a smaller one in front and then a bigger one in back. And that's same for the other side here. This car also has sunroof that goes over almost the entire roof of the vehicle. You hit it by hitting that button here, and then it slides right open. Takes a minute, but it does open. And then you just hit it one more time, and it whirs right back into place. And then you just cover this and you're all set. All right, now we begin the driving portion of the Subaru Forester. We are south of Salt Lake City, Utah. We're on a surface road here. And I have to say, this car is really comfortable. This is my grandparents' car, so comfort is kind of, important to them. So it drives really nice. I have to say, I'm just not a fan of CVTs. It sounds kind of like a lawnmower as you take off. As you do come to a stop, we're at a complete stop right now. It does have the auto vehicle hold feature, so you let your foot off the brake and it holds you in place. I'm not touching the brake at all right now. And the engine has shut off. This has auto start stop, so the engine comes to a complete stop at a stoplight to save fuel. And it does save fuel if you do it for long enough. So then, as soon as I touch the gas, the engine will start up. It will release the brake, and we'll be on our way, which you'll see here in a moment. Any moment now. Any moment. Now, so I have touched the gas, engine starts, brake releases, and we're on our way. It takes some getting used to, but it works. Now, if you don't like either of those features, you can turn them off. You can make the engine stop turning off at stoplights, and the vehicle doesn't have to hold the brake. You can choose that. I personally like the feature, at least where it holds the brake. I'm all about saving fuel. I don't know how much fuel it actually saves, but, we'll protect our environment as much as we can, I guess. One thing that is most notable to me, and I've said this about some other cars that I reviewed, it feels so big. Like, I can fit, I don't know, a tall vase of flowers above my head. And I feel just so little sitting in here. Now, this has a lot of good visibility. A lot more visibility than a lot of other cars that I've reviewed. Visibility is hard to come by nowadays because we have regulations with airbags that need to be in here and stuff. And this has it. It has to if it wants to be sold in the U.S. But it's not that easy to have good visibility in a car nowadays. And this really does provide that. I have a really big mirror that I can see really well behind me. The side mirrors are really big. I mean, it's almost like a pickup truck how big it is in here. Now, it doesn't have pickup truck performance, as far as towing. Pickup trucks aren't necessarily fast, most of them, but there's a certain amount of torque that you feel when you push on the gas in a pickup truck. That's not really there in this, and it's not really supposed to be. It's just a commuter SUV that can hold a lot of stuff and take your family in. It's a decent mountain car. This does have all-wheel drive. All Subarus, except for the BRZ, have all-wheel drive. So no matter which one you get, you're always getting all-wheel drive. And this provides that. There's no front-wheel drive option, none of that. There's no rear-wheel drive unless you get a BRZ. This has all-wheel drive all the time, and it works great in the snow. I have driven this in the snow. It snows a lot here in Salt Lake City. I live in Phoenix, obviously. If you've watched my videos, you know this, but it's just kind of funny. It's kind of like a lawnmower. It really feels like that. Since it doesn't really shift, it kind of revs up to an RPM and just holds it there while the gears speed the car up. And you'll have to watch this video explaining how CVTs work to really understand what I'm talking about. But it's just a very different feel. To me, it takes some of the enjoyment out of driving, but probably if you're buying this car, you're not really looking for great driving enjoyment. You're just looking for something that gets decent gas mileage and that gets you around town with, a campsite in your back seat and luggage area. Because it does have a lot of space. It's a big square, basically. All right, so we're getting onto the freeway here. Once again, it's evident that it's not particularly fast, but that's okay. Handling is exactly as you'd expect. It's not great, it's not bad, it's not going to it's not going to go on a racetrack very well, but it's fine. We're just cruising down the freeway. It doesn't really have any problems holding a high speed. It's nice because up here in Utah, our speed limits are a little bit higher than they are in Phoenix. So get this going a little faster. It doesn't have any problem holding it. CVTs also help with that because you have pretty much an infinite range of gears. It's essentially like having a span of gears and then infinite ranges in between, so you can hold your RPM pretty much wherever you want. So it helps with cruising because you don't have to just pick the gear available like in a traditional 5, 6 through 10 speed automatic with physical gears. This just has a belt and it can choose whichever range that it wants. So here on the I-15 going up to Salt Lake, it's pretty nice. I'm going to give it some gas here. Just nothing there. But it's also not painfully slow, so that is really nice to see too. I'm going to turn on the adaptive cruise control feature. So I have the adaptive cruise control set at 80 miles an hour, which is just slightly above the speed limit on this road. And then as soon as I catch up to the truck in front of me, which you can't see because I don't have a cameraman to show you today, it'll go at the speed that I set it at, which right now is 80 miles an hour. And now, because the truck in front of me is going slower, we are now slowing down to the speed of the truck. And then I can adjust the distance with buttons on the steering wheel here. I'm sorry that you can't see it. My cameraman doesn't live in Salt Lake City. So the truck in front of me is going, it looks like 69 miles an hour. I have cruise control set at 80, but now we're going 70, which is the speed limit here. And it will also steer for me. So once I creep out of the lane, steering wheel will steer me back in. So the steering wheel is holding me in place as we cruise down the freeway. I think it's mainly just to help you. It's not really meant to just hold the steering wheel there, but if you do start to drift over, it will correct you. So, and that's what it was doing here. It just could be a little more refined, like some of the vehicles we have today. It's amazing how quick technology progresses, because this is only a 5-year-old car, and we do have better systems out there. But that being said, it does work as it's supposed to. So anyway, that concludes the review of the 2019 Subaru Forester. I hope you enjoyed, and you'll see me in the next one. Under the hood of the Subaru Forester, we have a 2.5 liter inline. It's not inline. I don't yet have software that hides license plates.